Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Anime Brothers. We got your hosts, me, DiscipleDashni and TySoFly. Waiting on Quiet Jam. Quiet Jam's still on paternity leave. For those of you who
Mm.
are just tuning in to Anime Brothers, Quiet Jam's had his beautiful baby, Esme Liliana, first lady
Yep.
of the podcast,
Facts.
first baby of the podcast. She is precious. She is beautiful. We're waiting on Quiet Jams to make his return, but giving him that paternity leave. We got 4 weeks. That's the standard in America. 4 weeks. He'll come back when he's ready.
Yep.
You, you might see some like videos from him here and there, but yeah, we got Quiet Jams taking care of his baby. We appreciate that. So do your thing, Quiet Jams, and I'll see you when you get back.
hmm
Anything new with you this week, Ty?
Uh, Not too much. Just gearing up. Um, for our viewers that don't know, I also have a kid on the way. 1 more month,
One
so I'm
more
just gearing
month.
up for that. But yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
pretty much
Time
it.
flies so quickly.
Yeah, no, I just want it to happen. Obviously, since Quiet James had his, I'm just like, all right, time for mine to come out too. Let's just do this.
Yeah. And you guys don't know the sex, right? You're waiting until the baby's born.
Yep, correct.
Get that surprise, nice.
hmm
Either way, your baby and James's baby, they're gonna be instantly best friends right off the bat.
Facts. That was the plan.
So,
But yeah. All right, let's get into our first segment, which is
the newest
manga.
segment, manga review,
Yes.
manga chapter
hmm
review.
And for today we have Boruto chapter
52,
uh
right?
52, chapter 52, correct.
That was crazy. Oh, before we even get into Boruto chapter 52, let's go over the great news of Kishimoto returning to take
Oh
over
yes.
the Boruto manga. Let's just give that a clap.
Got to.
Oh my goodness. Like granted, like I wasn't I didn't hate what the manga was giving us beforehand. It was just I wasn't just like it didn't excite me
hmm
like Naruto. It didn't excite me like Naruto was doing. Like I could wait week after week just to get Naruto. I was like, yo, what's coming next? Kishimoto just has that way of storytelling. Boruto, I know Boruto's monthly, but it was just like, all right, this chapter was okay or whatever. And it's just like, then you get a adult chapter, and it's like, I really waited a month for this.
Correct.
And
No,
now
I
that
got I got
Kishimoto is back, ooh, can't wait.
no, I had the same feeling. Like with the Boruto chapters, it was almost like it didn't matter to me if it came out or it didn't come out. Like I wasn't like waiting for it to come out.
Right. It's just
Yeah.
like as soon as it came out, you were just like, okay, I guess it's something to read.
Yeah. Basically like that. And most times I'd be surprised when it did come out. I'm like, oh, it's here. Maybe I'll check it out. I know I got the other ones I like to read, but no, it should be exciting. It'd definitely liven it up.
Can't wait.
But
And I think they said like his influence started with this chapter. Was it this chapter or is it going to be the next chapter? I think it
um,
started because I
it
was
might
reading
it.
different articles and like
Mhm.
none of them gave a definite answer. But I think definitely he's gonna be starting with 50. He's gonna be on 53, but I'm not sure if
Okay.
he had anything to do with 52.
I mean, 52. It felt a little different. It felt kind of more like the original Naruto,
Yeah,
as far as like the detail and the context that was going on. So I don't. I mean, like you said, it most likely will be 53, but um, I kind of 52 wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed 52. Gave a little bit of background on the what's the new mode called? Like
Baryon. I think it was
yeah,
Baryon. I'm not gonna know how to pronounce this. Like,
yeah, I saw Kurama pronounce it, but obviously I was reading it, so I can't.
yeah, it's Baryon. So it's like Baryon or Baryan. I don't know.
hmm
Let me see.
But
Like, I can try to look up a YouTube video real quick and see how they pronounce it. But even then, I don't know how it's really
how it's really
pronounced.
pronounced? Yeah.
But that's the spelling, Baryon.
hmm that mode is pretty sick. Like the full breakdown of it, like the other outside of the fact that it looks cool, like just what it does. Like we know, based off what 51, that Naruto and Kuroma's life force was going to be like part of this mode. Like
Right.
it will obviously take him to the brink of death, right? But the little update that Kurama had in here was the fact when Naruto would hit crap, forgot his name,
Jigen.
Jigen, yeah, that he was actually sucking
Oh no,
Jigen's
well
life
now,
force.
now it's like Ishiki because he took over. So so
Yeah,
Ishiki's life, like he'll take his life for. So I guess it's called
yeah.
the Baryon mode. But this is just crazy because so anybody who, I mean, if you're reading Boruto, you know anybody who hasn't. Obviously, Boruto's the sequel to Naruto. Now follows the adventures of Naruto's son, and now
Mm-hmm.
we have this update. We have this battle between Naruto and Ishiki Utsuki or Utsutsuki because Ishiki took over Jigen's body, and just leading up to it, like you learn so much, for especially when Amato's talking about the Otsutsuki's and who they really are, and what they done. And I know a lot of people are like upset about it because they're like, "Oh, we went from ninjas to now this alien thing," but it's like kind of have to understand. You may not like it, but like Boruto is a different story. Like if they were just gonna do the same thing with ninjas warring, all of Naruto wouldn't really make sense. Like Naruto took care of all like the ninja wars to end the
Mm-hmm.
ninja wars. Like that was Naruto's whole thing. Like they wanted to create peace between like the
No,
villages
yeah.
to stop the ninja warring. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like you have. So it's like when you complete that story and go through all of that, you have to give us something new. And
Otherwise,
I
there's
mean, some
nothing that
people
they're
hate it.
fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, all of what Naruto went through was for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If the neighboring ninja villages keep warring with each other, so you're bringing a new enemy. We got aliens.
Yeah, I wasn't mad
I
about
mean,
it.
and honestly, it doesn't. It's not even that bad because when you figure like that's where the ninjutsu and chakra came from to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like let's give more on a story on the Otsutsuki.
Yeah, and they try to tie it in from Naruto and the last great battle, like
Right.
last Ninja
The,
War. So
the reveal with the ninja fruit and the devil
mhm.
tree.
Yep. So they try to tie it in. So I'm not mad at them. I liked it.
So good, but then that's good. But now we're in this battle, so then Kurama's just like, "Yo, are you willing to die to stop this dude?" And he's Naruto's like, "Yo, I've been waiting to die since the dead decided to Kurama Kage." He's like, "All right, well, there's this new form I gotta tell you about." It's like, and then the Baryon mode is like, it looks legit. I like the design of the Baryon mode.
Hmm. I do too, especially in the color photo that
Oh
I
yeah,
have here.
Couple looks
It's pretty
good.
sick. But
But that's a slick. That's a slick technique though. It's like, yeah, it's gonna cost us your life, but every touch that I do, it takes away his life as well. And it's funny
yep.
how Ishiki realizes it like late. But the thing is, it's weird because like they didn't have that his like life form, the life form meter beforehand, right? They just started showing that in the last chapter. Because if you
Um.
notice, like he's looking at a shadow type thing, it's like a flame shadow, and like
Yeah.
it gets smaller each time.
Yeah. That wasn't there before. I don't know if that was added in this. I don't remember seeing it in the last chapter, but I don't know if it was added
Yeah,
in this chapter.
yeah, it was added in 52 because it wasn't there in 51 or beforehand.
Well, then that was the whole point. It was just to show his life force being taken away. But
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
like, yo, I should have had. He's like, yo, I should have had 20 hours at least. With him, it's like now I only got 30 minutes. And I'm just
yep.
like, well, we know how time in anime does. Like, this
Oh,
planet will blow up in 5 minutes.
it'll take 2 to 3 chapters.
Yo,
Yeah,
I was like,
it's time.
as soon as she said 30 minutes, I was just like, oh, okay, this is gonna get dragged out for
Mhm.
how long? That was my first instant thought. I was like, we're
Yep.
going into freezer time here.
And then it got brought down to 10 minutes. 10 minutes was the lowest that I saw it. But
Yeah,
my thing was like, with every punch, how much time was actually being taken away? Because Naruto, when
Naruto's landing hits. Yeah.
yeah, he was landing hits left and right. Like his 30 minutes easily could have just been wiped out.
Nah,
So,
that's how you can't. That's why you gotta have conflict.
mhm.
You know,
And
time
that's
in anime doesn't make no sense. It's anime
facts.
time.
Facts.
Anime time might be worse than CP time. It's close. It's close.
It's definitely worse than CP time, dude.
I don't know, man. CP time is bad.
It is bad, but I mean, like you could take it to like DBZ real quick. Anime time in DBZ, especially when first transformations for Super Saiyan, like that was epically long.
That's true.
That's long.
That's what I'm saying. It's a close battle. It is a close battle between anime time and CP time.
Facts. But
But
back to
yo,
the
the way Naruto was honestly, it felt like when Naruto activated like barrier mode and like the way he was moving, it was kind of like seeing like Ultra Instinct. It was like yo, it was like
ooh,
Ultra Instinct type movements.
I
Even
like the
though
way you put that.
obviously like Naruto was thinking, but it's like Ultra Instinct in like Naruto terms, but still in like Ultra Instinct like in the Naruto verse. Like even
Yeah,
Sasuke could barely track his movements.
yeah. He mentioned that when those little needle things when Naruto caught them and dropped them, and he
With
was like,
ease. He
"Yeah."
caught those with ease.
And then Sasuke was like, "Man, I've just been barely able to track them with my eye." Oh, Sasuke. He was. You could. I felt like he was a little bit jealous, just a little bit.
So, I'm
Happy.
not even like jealous because like obviously like I mean if it was like original Naruto then yeah he probably would have been jealous, but now he's just like
Yeah.
yo, I didn't even know Naruto could get this power because like even Naruto didn't know.
No.
So that's why Sasuke was just so shocked and he was just like yo, we
Mm-hmm.
already thought we were at their max abilities to
Yep.
begin with, and it was just like nope.
I bet you. I bet you Sasuke has another ability. He
Man,
just doesn't know it yet.
Sasuke should have just taken his gotten his arm back,
Oh yeah. Because
but you know he wanted to
he's
make his atonement.
yeah, I forgot he was basically at a disadvantage in every fight just because he doesn't have his other arm.
You would think so, but it's like he's still beast. Like him and Naruto are still
Mm-hmm.
like the strongest
Yep.
out of the like good guys, anyways. But I mean, it's crazy. Like Ishiki was getting worked.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting worked over in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, like the drawback, and that's why it kind of reminded me of like when Goku like first turned Ultra Instinct during the tournament. Yeah, because it's
Mm.
just like you thought Jiren was
Jin.
gonna
Yeah.
be like finished all of a sudden right before Goku lands the finishing blow. So it's like boom, collapse.
Yep.
It's like okay, same situation.
Energy drain. Well, same situation to a degree. I mean, Goku wasn't actually gonna die, where Naruto's most likely has a can die, will die.
Yeah, you can't kill out Goku. I mean, if you kill out Goku, they just get the Dragon Balls and wish him back.
Facts. But yeah, no, this battle, like you said, was fierce. Ishiki got worked, but you know what's crazy is even though he was getting the work, it wasn't actually hurting him. It was the fact that the mode was draining his life force. So that was a real factor. He actually wasn't getting any real damage from the actual physical attacks.
Yeah, and so I mean that was the whole plan. We just like
Mm,
extend the fight for as long as possible to shorten the lifespan. And even
mm,
that's what Karam says like, yo, don't even try to worry about defeating him all. Defeating him with in this battle. Just like just land the attack. And I was just like, oh, it's kind of like when you're like fighting and martial arts, just hitting certain areas, just like making your punches accurate, make sure they
yep.
land. And then Karam was just like, yeah, just to think of it like a boxing fight. I was just like, oh, exactly. It's like
Hmm.
exactly right before I was like, exactly. Just land the punch. You don't even gotta try to knock him out. Just make sure you get as many punches as you can.
Yeah, total sense. And then I guess towards the end, basically, Ishiki he turns the events, but Naruto's like, "Ha, it doesn't matter. Like you had me pinned, but we're gonna see who makes it to the end." But that's when he Ishiki finds out that Naruto is linked to what's the
Kawaki,
boy's name? Yes,
with the
that
arm.
was
Yeah.
uh-huh.
And then Ishiki summons Kawaki to the battle. 'Cause I'm thinking this whole time, I was like, eventually, Ishiki is gonna, especially from like the clip that they gave in the very first chapter of Boruto, like somehow Kawaki turns bad or whatever, and then he's
Yep.
on fighting sides with Boruto. So it's just like, how does this manage to happen? And it's like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
now, um, Jiren, no, sorry, not Jiren, Jigen, opens, he discovers or I keep saying Jigen, yeah, he's gone now. Ishiki finds discovers the link between Naruto's chakra and the machine arm that he used for Kawaki, and he summons Kawaki to the battlefield. And it's like, oh shoot, and Sasuke's hurt. He can't really make it in time. And the chapter ends with Boruto opening his right eye, and I think that was the Byakugan, right? He
It
opened it with the
definitely
Byakugan.
was. It
Yep.
definitely was.
So he finally awakens his Byakugan, the
Hmm.
Byakugan power, which I like that. But in the manga, like I'm not sorry, in the anime, at least from the early episodes I saw, it started activating early on. But this is like the first like canon official
Hmm.
manga official time where he's activating his Byakugan.
Yeah, so in the anime, I remember that too, and he didn't really have control over it because when he activated it, and then he was telling Naruto, and then he was telling his grandpa and his aunt, and they tried to, they held that little like sparring to get him to fully activate it. He just couldn't do it,
I,
so it was
I,
like,
I, I still don't know what you're talking about just because I haven't seen I haven't watched the anime like that. I've only
oh,
saw a
oh,
couple episodes, so it was just when like the little boy was like being possessed or whatever.
hmm,
All of a sudden, the Byakugan is right. I kind of activated, and he saw the weird chakra, and I think that was the last episode of Boruto I ever watched.
got you.
I was just like, you know what? Let me
But
just wait until it gets more like canon focused.
no, I feel like the anime was just a bunch of fillers. There,
Oh, it
there's no,
definitely is,
it wasn't
especially
going
because
anywhere.
when you have something when you have an anime that's getting released weekly, but the manga itself is monthly, you're going to have
Mhm.
a bunch of crazy filler.
Yep.
That got nothing to do with it.
But yeah.
But yeah,
Anyways,
I'm now with Kishimoto coming back and the way Chapter 52 ended with Boruto awakening the Byakugan. I'm excited for 53. Now this is the
me
first time I
too.
can say like I'm excited to get the next chapter.
I'm definitely excited. It's gonna be a good one. Don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited for it. Let's get it popping.
Dang.
All
Now with
right.
that said and done, main topic for today we're reviewing Seven Deadly Sins season one, aka Nanatsu no Tozai.
Yes, sir. So overall, I thought this was a really good season, and
Oh yeah.
the anime itself is really good. Like, so just comparing with a lot of other animes, I didn't think I even felt a filler episode in the first season at all. Like it was just straight. I mean, there was story, but I felt like there was just action on every turn. Like there was a fight somewhere in every episode.
I mean, there is filler stuff, but it's like it does it so well that it doesn't feel like filler stuff.
Hmm.
Like it feels tied into the story, and it's like even if like you notice that it's filler stuff, it's like it's still an entertaining bit, or you're not just like, oh gosh, like can we just get past this? Like, or let me skip this before. And it's that, and that's kind of like where I like these anime that have like short episodes like for seasons or whatever,
Hmm.
or like short episodes for a number of seasons. I mean, I guess 23 standard. Well,
Yeah,
some people have more. Well, the first season was
it was
23 episodes.
24. I thought it was
24.
24. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it doesn't like it feels like it felt natural. Like all these episodes going in, like there's definitely filler, but like it doesn't feel like a filler for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what um Bond, I guess some of his memories and stuff, I guess you could count those as fillers, but to me they kind of just flowed in because like they flowed into finding other sins.
Nah, but even Bond's like memories, like that was in the manga as well.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not all accurate, and then maybe not all of it like they did with the episodes, but like the majority of the memories were just like those were. the manga as well.
Cool.
Oh, so probably in order, yeah. So what happens was, I don't know if like you read the manga like that, but so they had the manga and then they did side stories in the manga,
Hmm.
and Ben had his own, and they kind of did side stories for each of the character, but Ben's side story is basically his time with Elaine.
Ellen. Oh, Elaine.
He was basically with his time with Elaine. So that's why for me it doesn't feel like fillers, just because they actually gave the manga side story for that.
Hmm.
But let's start just from the beginning. So it's just like you have these two like random soldiers just walking through a village or a castle, and you see
Hmm.
all these knights getting slain, and it's like, yo, who did this? And then the little boy's like, yo, who could do such a thing? And then the guy's like, yo, 7 knights did this, called the 7 deadly sins. And it's just like, yo,
Hmm.
all those knights got slain. So it's like the 7 deadly sins are wanted for murder and destruction.
Yep.
And you see then you get a 10-year fast forward, and you're welcome to you see this guy, a little blonde, working the bar, like trying to service customers, and all of a sudden, um, this damaged, like, some ghostly knight just walks in. Turns out it's a woman, girl in the night, and she's looking for the 7 deadly sins. And you're trying to help, and it's just like, yo, what's going on? Like the owner of the inn was just like, yo, what are you doing? Trying to help her. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for the 7 deadly sins. And it's like, that's kind of weird because they're wanted,
Yep.
and you're looking for the wanted people. She's like, oh no, I need them to help save my castle. And owner of the boar's hat is just like, okay, I'll help you. I mean, at this point, we get the pig Hawk, who's
Hawks.
Hawks is hilarious. Basically,
Awesome.
because owner of the bar is kind of like, I mean, I'm trying to avoid his name, but it's just weird saying it without his name. But it's Meliodas, but he's not revealing himself yet. So
Hmm.
Meliodas, it's just hilarious how like Meliodas like sees Elizabeth, and like he's trying to feeling up on her, and Hawk's just like, "Yo, you need to knock it off." He's like, "How dare you?"
He was like, yo, I need to find out if it's truly a girl. And Hawk's like, you know it's a girl. It's definitely a girl.
Right? He's like, you can easily tell it's a girl. But
Meliodas is
like
just like,
it's the running trope in anime is like you gotta have one perfect character, but the fact that it's like the main
yeah,
character and he's doing it. I
so
mean,
wild.
later on, like you understand it more. Because like it seems creepy at first, but then like later on, like especially when you watch the anime, you understand why it's being done with those two.
Mhm.
And but while they're talking, of course, they get attacked by what was his name? Twigo or something with
Yeah,
the knight.
the dude that like I forget the phrase that he makes before he makes a move. He's just like information gathered or something like that. But he has to make a statement just to prove what he's doing is justified for
So
him.
stupid.
Hmm. But yeah, he wasn't even a holy knight.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't. He was just a regular. My bad. He was just a regular
Mhm.
jabroni knight.
Yep, that was just stronger than the other average jabroni knights, but not quite a holy knight. But yeah, he comes in because it's the villagers get freaked out because they think Princess Elizabeth is part of the 7 deadly sins. So he ends up showing up because he wants to take her out. But then he actually realizes that it is Princess Elizabeth, and then decides to still take her out because
Yeah. It's revealed that Elizabeth is the princess of Leonis.
hmm and he's like, I don't even care.
And
So
he
he
tries
just
to take her
continues to.
out. And
Hmm.
that's when Meliodas comes in, stops, and reveals himself, to be Meliodas, the leader of the 7 deadly sins.
Hmm.
He doesn't really look like his poster.
No, I, yeah, he's the only one who hasn't aged. But I mean, the other ones they still kind of look the same, so it's not like they aged much either.
Right. But yeah, it was just like And so, I believe one of the jabronis that rolled, was rolling with Tweeko, was just like, "Yo, like how is like you look the same from that day 10 years ago? It can't
Yeah.
be." Or was that Tweeko himself? Was it Tweeko or was it somebody else?
I think it might have been Tweeko because the other guys weren't even there, and only one of those guys was there. He was the little boy, and that's why he
Yeah,
was like the seven deadly sins, but he never actually saw the seven deadly sins.
right. So Tweeko was just like, "Yo, it's like how can you still be you look the same from that day?" And he tries to attack Meliodas, and then that's when he gets blasted. And
Mm.
it was just like, "Nah, we ain't having none of that." Once when he gets one shotted, so
Mm-hmm.
quick, armor destroyed and everything.
Yep. Oh man. So yeah, he got the business, and then
Meliodas decides he's going to help Elizabeth in her quest to reunite the seven deadly sins and help save the
hmm
castle
yep.
in the
So
kingdom of Leonis.
hmm and on their journey, their first sin that they find is Diane.
Yeah, Deanne. But before they even find Deanne, like, so the next episode they were going to a village, and they see that the water has stopped going to the village because Gilthunder came and
hmm
stuck his sword in the ground.
Yep.
And and then only a holy knight would be able to remove the sword. It's like, I mean, they tried, the villagers tried to no avail, and then Meliodas like removed it with ease. It was
With
like, okay,
ease,
yeah,
man.
we're good now. And then when Gilthunder like found out his sword was removed, like he tried to throw a lance or a
Yep.
spear. Yo, honestly, that's the one, especially for season one, that's kind of one of my favorite scenes. Like the way he threw the spear with such force, and Meliodas just caught it. Was just like, all right. He looked, he's just like, there we go.
I
And just threw it right back at Gilthunder.
hmm he he did get pushed back a little bit by the force, but he took out a couple of houses by
Yeah.
accident, but he still sent it back. And then Gil Thunder like tilts his head because it comes that close to him, and he's just like sinister laugh or smile or whatever, and he was like, Meliodas is alive. Like he was just so enraged. But
Yo, here's the thing, like, yo, and this is what I'll give credit to season one. They made like all these knights so like powerful and strong for like nemesis.
hmm
I'm that's probably not even an actual word, so I'm just gonna roll with it.
what
They made it.
Nemesis?
No, nemesis. I said nemesis
Oh,
as in plural, but whatever. We just gonna roll with it. And so they made the holy knights like so strong as like for opponents, and then later on it's just like nope. It's like there's not even like it can't even sniff the power of the seven deadly sins. But that gets explained later on in season one, and you'll understand why. But yeah,
hmm
so they go. Meliodas helps the village out, removes the sword, but they realize Gilthunder is going to be tracking them now. So they leave to go into what it was like the Forest of Dreams. It's called.
I think it was that Forest of Dreams, yeah, because it was stated that no Holy Knight would ever go in there because there was something in there that the Holy Knights were scared of.
Right. And
hmm
then when they get into the forest, they first get run into imps, like these
hmm
imps who were creating illusions, and they created multiple images of Elizabeth and Hawk. But Meliodas like broke through that real quick,
Yep.
and then the imps ran it over to a giant who was for, who was like who forced them to work for her. And turns out that the giant was Deanne. The She's the Borson, right?
No, Serpent.
My bad, Serpentine. Sorry.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we should explain. Meliodas is the dragon sin of wrath,
hmm And
and
D-
Deanne is the serpent
Dean.
sin of. Why did
Crap. I, I
why
don't
am
know
I
that one.
forgetting?
Let's see.
Because I know. Oh, envy. There we go.
Yep.
and actually that makes sense if you know her character. She
Sin and Envy. Yeah.
is the serpent
But
sin and
hmm so they find her. They reunite. Everything's good. Obviously, she's super jealous of Elizabeth based off Meliodas's groping of her.
Yes, because Deanna is obsessed with Meliodas, and the
Yeah.
captain. Well, she
And
calls him
then
captain, but she's obsessed with Meliodas.
facts. And then Gil Thunder shows up.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, oh yeah, and again, first season Gil Thunder, beast.
Mm-hmm.
Going toe to toe with Meliodas, and like he gives Meliodas like a fatal blow, but you find out Meliodas was like fake. He took the blow purposely to get information on where Bond and King were
Mm-hmm.
to find that out. And
Yeah.
while he's fighting Gil Thunder he says a weird phrase during their fight.
I will
Yeah,
be stronger, or I am stronger than all the seven deadly sins. Something like that. I forget the exact phrase, but that phrase is the phrase that Meliodas taught him when Gil Thunder was younger, because Meliodas was his teacher, his swordsmanship teacher.
right. You found
Anyways,
out, yeah, Meliodas taught Gil Thunder.
correct.
He was
So
his
then,
trainer.
yeah. So Meliodas told him that phrase. It was just a thing for him to always say, and didn't know at the time. I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but um, that was a signal to Meliodas whenever Gil Thunder said that um, Gil Thunder was like in trouble, but he was trying to, but he couldn't say he was in trouble, so he kept saying that phrase.
Right. Yeah. So
So,
whenever Gil Thunder was in trouble but couldn't actually reveal it, the charm was to say, "I'm stronger than any of the seven deadly sins," and Meliodas would have come to his aid no matter what. So
mm-hmm.
Gil Thunder made sure to say that phrase, so they had like a little fake ruse battle, and then Diane or Deanne, she grabbed she grabs Gil Thunder as a giant, tosses him,
She just launched him, bro.
launched him, launched him away.
Oh my goodness.
So they went on
Yeah.
their way, and
So
they decide
then,
they need to go find Ben and King. And
mm-hmm.
so the first thing to go is to find Ben because he's locked up in a dungeon. But on their way to find Ben, they run into more holy knights.
Yes, three of them. Right? Was it
Yep.
three? Yeah. And they actually really weren't that tough. It was just like their powers. One of them controlled poisonous insects. The other one, which is actually was the biggest trouble of all, was the illusion one. The one
With
that
the bell.
yeah.
He uses the bell to cause the illusion, and he
Hmm.
forced Meliodas and Deanne to fight each other.
Hmm. So yep. But
And
who
there was a third.
the invisible dude, because he can go invisible.
Right.
Meliodas figured it out. Because at first they thought he was teleporting, but then Hawks could sniff out people. Hawks is the greatest sniffer in the land, just so everyone
Yes.
knows.
Yes, he is.
And, and he was like, "Oh, I can still smell his metallic presence or whatever." And then that's when Meliodas figured out that he's actually just going invisible and running. And then he sets a trap for him in that broken down house, where the only
Yep.
way he can come into the house is walking through the door, at which is the trap floor that Meliodas set up, and then he falls through it. That's how he gets caught. But then he escapes because Elizabeth and Hawks comes to Meliodas' aid, which he didn't need, and they talk to him. He turns his head, and dude goes invisible. But I think Meliodas wanted them to leave anyways, because he was just going to follow him to the prison.
Right. But this the thing though, so it was just like, uh, where were those? Nice.
What do you mean? Where were they?
No. I'm saying, well, what were the name of the nights? Because it was just like we had the insect one,
Mm-hmm. I don't remember their
and
names
then you
exactly.
had
The illusion one. So
oh,
insect,
I know.
illusion.
So yeah, Frasier was the insect one,
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Frasier was the insect one, and then
The illusion one, I don't
I
remember
can't
his name.
remember. That's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Uh,
so onto a rescue band. It's funny because
mhm.
like he's locked up, but the moment he hears like he knows that they're on their way to rescue band, my man just instantly just breaks out. He like so basically he could have easily broken out anytime he wanted to.
Mhm.
He just chose to stay there.
Yeah. And he later reveals. Actually, no, there was a fourth. Holy. Oh my goodness, holy soldier. There was a fourth one because Ban reveals why he allowed himself to be captured because he wanted to feel pain just as a remorseful kind of thing, and so he let
Yeah,
them torture him.
because he obviously feels bad, and you'll
Mhm.
find out why in a later episode. But yes, so he allows himself to get captured. Then he meets. That's when he meets the Holy Knight Jericho. But Jericho is no match for Ban at all.
Mhm.
Jericho is no match for Ban at all, and like he basically embarrasses her. Like he defeats her, but he doesn't kill her.
Strips
He
her.
embarrasses her, he strips her of her armor, and goes on his merry way. And then
Oh, she was
he
so.
tries to go on his merry way, but he gets runs into another holy knight. It's like,
Mhm.
and the holy knight stabs Ben in the chest, and you think Ben's dead, but that's when it reveals like Ben's immortal and he has regenerative powers. So Ben
Mhm.
makes quick Bond makes quick worth of that night.
Yeah.
And Meliodas. So they finally get to Bond, and that's honestly that's another one of my favorite parts of Seven Deadly Sins when Bond and Meliodas just like meet each other, and then it's just like their greeting is ridiculous. They just start
Oh
beating
my.
each other up,
Yeah.
and by doing so, they destroy the dungeon
And they finished it off with an
completely.
arm wrestle that just is
It is
insane,
like
man.
for anybody who like watches like Dragon Ball Z, when you see like when Goku and Vegeta train, and you see like all the mountains just like destroy and get destroyed in like the background and everything because their power is so destructive. Just that's put it in that term. Like
Yeah.
obviously, Gon and Meliodas aren't the strongest Goku Vegeta, but in this world for Seven Deadly Sins world, that's pretty much what it is. Like their
Mhm.
power, their force is so destructive that completely just destroys their surrounding area.
Yep.
And like, and the thing is, they're purposely throwing each other into like their surroundings to destroy it. It's ridiculous, but
And
hilarious at the same time.
yeah, in the end, it's just like she's just enjoying it. She was like, "Oh, Melio, he looks so cute whenever he's fighting or greeting and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that's funny." But yeah, so they
But I
rescue
think
Bond.
yes, they
Okay.
rescue Bond, and then they know they gotta go find King.
Mhm.
And then Bond doesn't even recognize King
Mm.
because King is really King's former was like the fat the fat King. He's like, yo, who's this dude? He's like, yo, that's King. It's like King. It's like, nah, that can't be it. That's not King. What are you talking about?
So it's revealed that King was actually using the older body, even though his true form was that where he looks like a kid. So he was actually exhausting his energy trying to look like an adult, which I don't understand why.
Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, like King has a hatred with Bond. Like he really doesn't like Bond at, at the time.
True.
And you see, uh, and so what happens is the King runs away. I think to go to the land of the dead or like the it's not called the
Um,
land of the dead,
no,
but
it's
it's
oh my
something like that.
goodness. There was a unique word. I forgot what the word was, but we can go with Land of the Dead.
It's bothering. Now see, this is bothering me.
But while you look that up, so in the Land of the Dead, the only way to get there was to have a strong connection or a bond with someone who has passed away, and this comes into Bond's memories of um, Elaine, and that's how they all transport to the Land of the Dead. And in the land of the dead, that's where King finds it. So King's mad at Bond because King believes Bond killed his sister, Elaine. We found out that King and Elaine are brother and sister. But in reality, Bond didn't kill her. It was the demon that killed her. And Bond actually becomes immortal because Elaine gives him the water immortality so that he can survive the attack from the demon. And Bond ends up killing the demon for killing Elaine. And all that's revealed. And King still wishy-washy with Bond, but he's not as hateful towards Bond anymore as he finds out the truth.
Right, because the whole time, and you get a flashback with Bond's memories in the beginning, before that, all that, like he's trying to steal the Fountain of the Youth from the fairy forest, and Elaine's been guarding it, and she's stopping him each time, and then she finally traps him and is like, "Yo, if you drink from this, if you drink the fountain, like the fairy forest will die and be gone." And so once he realizes that, he decides like, you know what, I'm just gonna. I was like, I'll stay. He's like, I won't do it anymore. It's like, I'll stop trying to steal. And then but he just stays there in the forest though, and spends time with Elaine
Mm-hmm.
the whole time. And where eventually they develop feelings for each other, and he falls in love with her. And then a demon attacks the fairy king forest, and and like Thais explained, um, the brand both Bond and Elaine are fatally wounded trying to protect the forest. And Elaine takes the Fountain of Youth and puts it in her mouth and then gives it to Ben forcefully, so he will survive, and she dies. But
So,
as like we said, it's called the Fairy King Forest. She shouldn't have been the one protecting it.
nope,
She was only
definitely should
there
have been
because
King.
the person who was supposed to be protecting it left and never came back. And you know who that person was? King. King. King left and abandoned his sister. So the whole time he's mad at Ben for like it's like he is mad at Ben. He's kind of blaming Ben, but it's a projection because he's
Mm-hmm.
really blaming himself because he knows he should have been there.
To protect her and the fairy force.
Yep.
So,
But yes, Elaine convinces King. She tells him the true story, and then King kind of he softened towards Ben.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my bad. So that's why King ran away to the beginning because when they first found King, he saw Diane, and you find out King has a major crush on Diane,
Oh, huge crush.
and he gets flustered, right? So then he takes off,
Yeah.
and then they ended up going to the land of the yeah. Again, we're just gonna call it the land of the dead.
Yeah, because I can't remember
I
the
can't remember
actual.
what it's called, and I'm trying to look it up, but that's taking too much time. Whatever. Someone will
Yep.
correct us soon enough when they see this episode.
And then, so in the land, they're fighting this holy knight. What's her name? She had like the explosive power. It's not really fire, but it's explosives.
I think it's Gilda. Gilda.
Yeah. So yeah, so they fight her. She.
Oh yeah, she was doing work with them, and then until
Oh
King
yeah,
decides to join the fight, and then when King joins, he was just like he beats her easily, and it was just like,
light
yo,
work.
King was just like, yo, how the hell are you guys like getting beat by this? He was like, this shouldn't be happening. What's up? This is like, where are your weapons? And then Bill, Ben, Meliodas, and Deanna all go, oh, mine's lost, stolen. Like we don't have them. And King's just like, oh
Oh
gosh,
man,
like this is why you guys are getting worked over because you don't have your sacred weapon,
lost,
which
sold, and
he,
stolen. That was funny.
yes, lost, sold, and stolen. Couldn't believe it, and he was just
Oh
like,
man.
wow. But King really does have a point because once they do get their weapons, oh my
Oh
gosh,
man.
the power shift
Oh,
is crazy.
OP.
You won't
Yeah.
actually. I don't think you actually see this. Well, the further Deanne gets her weapon in
Yeah.
season one. I don't think Meliodas and or Ben do. I think that comes in the next season.
No. I thought Meliodas and Bond got there at the end of season one
Do
because he
they?
gets he got his sword. Was that that's not his? Is that not his magical weapon?
Actually, that might be, but that's I thought that
Yeah,
was like this is sword. We'll get into that. That might be it.
yeah. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to that. But anyway, so after the episode of the land, I mean, the land of the
Oh,
dead.
before we forget, like at the time, like Meliodas, like he has a secret weapon, but which I think he sold his secret weapon, right? No, his was
Yeah.
stolen.
No. He sold
No,
his.
he sold his.
Bonds
Best
was
was
stolen when he got captured.
yes, and then Elaine lost hers.
Deanne.
I am sorry, I keep saying Elaine. Deanne lost hers, and
Hmm.
so right now, what Meliodas is using besides his own fist is just a sword with, it's a broken sword that
Hmm.
he's trying to protect, like with his life, and like anybody who tries to go after the hilt, like he will damage badly. And like
Yes.
during some of the fights, you see like a strange marker appear on Meliodas's uh forehead. And it's just like, nah, you ain't touching this. And you just
Mm-mm.
like immense power. But you find out there's a fighting tournament, and the prize for the tournament is Deanne's axe or hammer.
The sacred hammer.
It's her sacred hammer. So of course, all the sins right now, they join in to make sure they win,
Hmm.
and you get so when the tournament starts, and we also get introduced to more holy knights. We get
Yes.
Gria Moore and Hauser.
Hmm.
Those are gonna definitely be two main ones at the end.
Yeah. We also get introduced to Princess Veronica.
Yes, Princess Veronica, who is Elizabeth's sister,
Hmm.
who's very skilled in magic, right? She's a great.
Um,
Or was
I think
it the
she's.
other one I'm thinking of?
I think it was the other one. Veronica was a swordsman.
Yes, Veronica's a swordsman.
But yeah, so we get introduced to them during the tournament. Um, I mean, the tournament was kind of it was kind of like sped through just because that wasn't like the main fight that was supposed to be happening. But
Right.
I mean, the first it was pretty good. Meliodas and
Melius and
Bond
Ben
fought
got
each
paired.
other
Bond got
in the first
first,
round.
got paired off first round.
That was
It was damage. Like you would think, and Bond was like they were going back and forth, and then Bond was kind of giving it to Meliodas, and then like right before Bond thinks like he has it won, Meliodas is like a strange power comes out,
hmm
and he just blasts Bond. I mean, good thing Bond's immortal, like because he's the only one who would have survived that. Even though
yeah,
like what it was like 5 holes that got put into him,
dude, he
he sent
got
him away.
he got whacked. It was like one in the head, two in the chest, one in the
It
stomach. It was a wrap.
was crazy. And then you have Hauser and Deanna on the other side of the semifinals,
Yep,
where
that
it
was a good
looked like
battle.
Hauser was gonna win with his tornado move, but Dion, her power, she got the power of the earth, and so she used her body, like one of her attacks is her steel body, and so she used the steel body to weight herself and just slam
Mhm.
her right into Hauser.
And it's unfortunate. I don't think she ever used that again. She only used it
Oh,
in that.
not in. I don't think in season one. She
Okay.
definitely uses the technique again,
Oh,
but
I
not
was
in
gonna say
season
because
one.
there were some battles in season one where she could have used a technique to, save her. Especially if she could turn into true steel like that. That'd be
Mhm.
just saying. But yeah, back to the tournament.
So basically, the
Um,
finals goes between Meliodas and Deanna, which guarantees that the seven deadly, that the sins, well, not seven right now, but that the sins will win, and Deanna will get her sacred hammer. And then we get introduced to later on. We get introduced to not they're more holy knights, but they're their own clan of knights. What was it? The demons roar or no?
um, the second generation.
Yeah, it was no. It was because we have the holy knights, and
Yep.
then we have the
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Shoot. What is their name? They're
I think it
like
was like Denzel's. I think they're well. We don't know who Denzel is yet, but that's his group.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Shoot, I forgot the actual
I
name.
think I had the name right there.
No, but weren't they supposed to be like another like Seven Deadly Sins group? Like, because they're supposed to be their own like,
They're their own band of knights.
yeah, that that just
Oh no,
only
not they're
travel with
not
each
even
other.
not even though that group. My bad. That group doesn't go until season 2. But who's the season 1? Because there was the regular Holy Knights and there was a group.
No, there was this group that was in season one. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Gunther.
I mentioned because like Gauther, like because this is when it was when they were going to find Gauther,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that's when we get introduced to them because you have the regular Holy Knights where you see like Jericho, Gil Thunder,
Mhm.
Gilda, and you have their group, but then there's this other group who have a specific name, and that's why I'm so frustrated. Why? And the
Um.
thing is, the name was just on the tip of my tongue, and then I
Give me
lost
one
it.
second. I'm not seeing it right now, but I definitely know what group you're talking about. Well, wait,
Why
Don
is
Roar?
this? There we go, Don Roar. The
Yep,
Don Roar.
there we
I
go.
mean, they might not be the actual. They're not actual Holy Knights, but like this, basically, they're like on a different like tier from the Holy Knights.
They're they're like secret ops, if you
Right.
want to give them like a term. They're like the secret
Don
ops of the
Roar. There
Holy
we
Knights.
go.
Yeah, whew, that was tough. But anyways, yeah. So we get introduced to them.
Because like when we're going to like when they're going to find Gother, you see Gother protecting like this suit of armor or whatever, or the giant with the like the what was it like? Was like it was the one with like the Iron Giant, like Dawn War was faced with killing the Iron Giant or whatever,
Mhm.
and you had to, and so they were going after the Gother. So it was just like you had the Sins, the Holy Knights, and then Dawn Roar all finding Gother, and there's like this standoff, and then Gother's just like, oh, he's like, listen, if you're just being tasked to kill the knight, let me just take off its head and give it to you, like, and then that should be good enough, right? And so he gives the head of the knight to one of the Dawn War, but then you find out that oh boy was an actual demon. And so it's like, all right, now we got into this battle with the demon. But it was weird because
Yeah.
like there was a human in the middle of that demon's chest, right?
Yep.
And you found out that that is, I believe, it was someone's father. Was it Jericho?
Was it Jericho's father?
It was someone's father, or was it
Because
Edith's father?
Jericho doesn't isn't her brother in what is he in Dawn of Roar?
Yes,
Because I know,
he's
yeah.
in Don. So yeah, it wasn't their father. So who it was? Yeah,
Uh, well, can't
yeah.
remember his
Both
name.
was with the armored giant. So
Hmm.
it was my bad. The Holy
Well,
Knights weren't there. It was just Don Roar.
and the Seven Deadly Sins.
Yeah, it was just Don Roar the Saints and then the Iron Giant. So it was a demon.
Yeah.
And during that, like, there's a side story where, oh yeah, so during the tournament, which we skipped over, Meliodas was in the battle with an old man who was angry at Meliodas because he blamed Meliodas for destroying a kingdom, and he was just
Mm.
like, "Yo, that wasn't me who did it." And then the old man believed his story. I believe his name was Cain. But it's like during the battle
It was
where they're
yeah.
fighting the yeah, so
You're right.
during the battle where they're doing the where they're fighting the armored giant or whatever in the demon, Kane goes to the inn and he's talking with Elizabeth, who decided she's going to work at the inn with
Mhm.
Meliodas. He's telling her the story about Liz, who's Meliodas' first love.
Yep.
He found Meliodas. Well, hey, not really Meliodas' first love, but that was his love before he meets Elizabeth.
Hmm.
And so he talked about how Liz was condemned, was about to be killed, but Meliodas stopped, saved her life, um, stopped her from being executed, and then they became lovers. And she ended up dying, but she had a sword that she used, and that was her battle. And so I believe he gave her, I think it was Cain who gave Elizabeth the sword, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Cain gave Elizabeth Liz's sword, and then during the battle with the armored giant, Liz comes. It was Gita's father, Dale. That's who the armored giant was.
Okay.
Gita's father. And Gita, yeah, Gita has a little brother Zeal, and that comes into play later on. And so Cain has, because so Cain gives Elizabeth Liz's sword, and so during the battle with the armored giant, Elizabeth comes and tosses Meliodas the sword, and he realizes what it is, and he uses the sword to kill the demon. I mean, Gita's father is already gone by this point, so there's no
Yeah.
saving him.
Hmm.
It was just putting him out of his misery at this point.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And so that goes through. So they finished that, and so Gothar ends up joining the Sins.
the sun.
Now we have Meliodas, Deanne, Don, King, Gothar. We have five.
Yep.
We have five Sins of the seven. Yeah. So basically, Meliodas got his little dragon head stolen, and the reason why you find out he's so protective of it because that is one of the artifacts needed to revive the Red Demon, the Red Demon clan, which is what
Hmm.
Hendrickson and Dreyfus are trying to do. You find out Hendrickson and Dreyfus, who are the leaders of the knights, the Grand Knights, the two Grand Knights. You find out they're not exactly as good as they make it out to be.
Mm-mm. No, they plotted together to kill the original, well, the Grand Master before them.
Zatara or Zara. What's his What's his name? Why do I
Mm,
keep forgetting these names? Like I was really watching this, and it's Guilt Thunder's father.
that's what I was gonna say. That's how I've been addressing them. Kill Thunder.
It's Guilt Thunder's father is I believe is like it's Guilt not only is it Guilt Thunder's father, but it's Dravis's brother.
Oh yeah,
Is
what? Yeah, he did because he said he was envious of his brother, which then somehow at some point turned to a hatred towards his brother,
yes.
and that's why he
Yeah.
plotted to kill him.
There we go. Zaratris.
Zara.
Zaratris.
No way I was gonna remember that. But yeah, so those two grandmasters are not as good as we all think they are.
Right. And you find out that Hedrickson and Dreyfus killed him like towards the end of the season.
Hmm.
But so yeah, they find out. So the one artifact's in place, and all of a sudden now it's just like, okay, we gotta go to Leonis now. Like that's the last place we gotta go to Leonis and stop this nonsense. And
Hmm.
so this is one of my favorite parts though. Deanne, she takes Gauther, Bond, and Meliodas and just launches them straight towards the castle.
Wait, did we skip over Elizabeth being kidnapped?
Yes, we did. Sorry, that's me. My fault. So yeah, that's right. That's why they went to the castle because
Hmm.
I was the other holy knight. No, was that her sister
No, no, it
or
wasn't her
was that
sister.
another one?
It was the mage, the witch, the apprentice of Merlin.
That's right.
I forgot what her name is. To be honest, I forgot what her name is. But
You find out. Oh, you find out that yeah, she comes and kidnaps Elizabeth and takes her to the castle.
mhm,
So it's like, okay, we gotta go there. It's like we gotta go to the castle.
yep. And Meliodas, when they after they get launched, as DiscipleDashni said, when they land, Meliodas is like, "All right, we're only here to rescue Elizabeth, so keep the damage to a minimum." I mean, that's like telling
as minimum as you can be. Oh, it was Vivian. It was Vivian.
Vivian, that's her
Yes.
name. It's like telling destructive people to not be destructive. Like,
And she was regarded as the kingdom's lady. Oh, well, she was as Leonis's like lead best mage,
hmm
which makes sense because she was the apprentice of Merlin, who was really the strongest
yeah,
mage in the
in the realm, really, right?
yes in the
Kingdom,
realm. Yep.
whatever you
But
want to call it.
Vivian's twisted. Vivian is definitely twisted.
Oh yeah, Twisted, crazy in love with Guild Thunder, just
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of baggage. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yep. And then you find out when she kidnaps Elizabeth, you find out that she also locked up Margaret, who is Gilthunder's love.
Yep, and princess that he has to watch over because there was a holy knight assigned to each princess. Actually, there actually wasn't one assigned to Elizabeth. Oh no, at
Well,
least it.
because Meliodas.
Yeah.
Technically, because Meliodas who could watch over it, and Bartra, who's the king of Leonis, he kind of knew about Elizabeth's powers. So
Mm.
he, so and like after talking with Meliodas, that's why she was never assigned a knight. But yeah, so basically, Margaret had Gilthunder, and then Veronica had Griamore,
hmm Yes.
and then Hauser was just like their best friend, the third.
Yeah. I bet you Hauser was supposed to be assigned to Elizabeth, but it just fell through the cracks because of
That was
the
never gonna
whole
happen.
the whole.
Elizabeth didn't need
It was the
it.
plot. It was the plot twist. There you go.
But
Uh,
so that's why they have to go to the castle, and then Deanne launches them. Oh, because she stole uh Elizabeth and Hawk. I don't know if she realized Hawk got taken as well,
no.
because she's freaked out by Hawk,
hmm Yeah, she's
and she
talking pig. Everybody is.
yeah, she's freaked out by Hawk and runs away. So
Yeah.
Elizabeth launches the other three sins
hmm
to no, I'm sorry, I keep saying Elizabeth. Deanne launches the other three sins to Leonis, and yeah, Meliodas is like, let's try to cause as little damage as possible. That clearly, as anime terms, that doesn't go over too well.
Mm-mm.
That does not follow
Mm-mm.
through. It's plain damage.
Mm-mm.
But then we get introduced to Arthur Pendragon, who's traveling
Yes.
with somebody, and he has this big whole army with him, and to get a meeting with Hendrickson. Then you find out the army was just an illusion created by Arthur's uh Arthur's little friend there.
Yep.
And so they meet with Hendrickson and Dreyfus. The meeting doesn't go over too well, and they try to attack Arthur, and they get into a battle.
Yep.
And then
Good.
Mel, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna call him King Arthur, and they reference Camelot and all that stuff. So just
Yeah, so Arthur's still king of Camelot,
hmm which just
and
brings another story.
oh yeah, because you always know there also is like totally they also bring the Arthur lore. Like if you don't know Arthur lore, just look it up. You get the Arthur, Camelot, Excalibur, a whole thing. Yep, same
hmm
Arthur. Well, not exactly the
Basically.
same Arthur, but they're using that storyline to
hmm
bring in for the character. And so, um, right now, Deanne, you see Deanne gets to the castle. It doesn't take her long. She's a big ass giant. She can get there quickly.
just runs and fills up so much space.
hmm But you have Dreyfus, Gilthunder, uh Gilda, and I
Jericho.
believe Jericho. Yeah, Gilda and Jericho. And who else came there?
Um, did you mention
I believe it's Hauser.
Hauser is there?
So
Did you
yeah,
mention
because did I
did
mention
you
what?
mention the old the old guy who I don't want to say his well the old guy that's actually just the fairy.
Oh, yeah, Helbrum. He's there.
Hill
Helbrum's there
that's
fight.
Hilbum, that's his
Fighting.
name.
Helbrum fighting as well. So Herbram's in a battle with King, and they're
Hmm.
going back and forth because when King gets there, like, and he has a person, and you can see like he has a personal hatred for King, and it's kind of weird, and we don't understand it at first, and so
Hmm.
they're battling, and then you see who this, and then I believe Dreyfus. Man, I was like, I literally just watched this like all last week, and I don't know why I'm fading now, but I believe Dreyfus is fighting. I know Dreyfus is fighting Deanne.
Yes.
King's fighting Hellbroom, and then Ben. Ben somehow is they toss Ben to a prison or below
Yeah.
the dungeon below the castle.
Because he's looking for
He's
those.
looking for a way to get contact the angels to bring the
Yes.
goddesses to bring
Yeah.
back Elaine.
The
So
goddesses.
that's why
That's a
Ben's
good.
on his own.
Hmm.
Hawk ended up meeting up with Bond. Meliodas, and then Meliodas goes and helps fight Hendrickson with Arthur.
Yep.
Where
And
the hell
then
was Gother? Oh, that's right. Gother ends up coming because
he.
Javis is a Grand Knight, so he's obviously stronger than the Holy Knights, and Deanne gets worked over.
Hmm.
And before Japhis can like actually like land a finishing blow, Gother shows up to help Deanne.
Hmm.
And
That's where.
Gother was a beast because he put Japhis under this hallucination spell, and it was just like, wow, Japhis is getting got.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you think and it almost works, but Dreyfus breaks free from it and kind of and stabs Gotha right in the chest.
Mhm. I thought it was over.
Brutal. Yeah. So did I. That was a while.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh,
And then
I I feel like there's like more to Gothar's powers than they actually truly explained.
oh yeah.
In the
Oh
first
yeah.
season, at least in the first season.
Yeah, if you keep watching it and you'll see.
Okay.
Keep watching and you'll
Well,
see.
anyways, so I guess we can just go, fast forward to King Arthur and I just like calling him King Arthur and oh my goodness, I just forgot how to
Meliodas,
pronounce his name. My Meliodas versus
Hendrickson.
actually Gil and Henderson and Gil Thunder gets sent there by Vivian.
Yes.
So that battle ensues, and that's actually a really intense battle. And throughout that battle, I mean, King Arthur gets knocked out, and then Meliodas is like, "Don't worry, rest up. I'm gonna fight these two." And he's actually not really fighting back,
Right.
which because he's which I didn't even actually know what he was looking for. I just knew because the other sons were talking about it from a faraway distance that he wasn't fighting back. King actually said that, and he was actually looking for the thing that was controlling um, Margaret and Guilt Other because they were under a curse.
Right. Which he knew. And of course it's revealed Meliodas knew that because of what Gilflin just said to him. It's like whenever you're in trouble, utter these words, I am stronger than all of the seven deadly sins. And
Hmm.
so when Meliodas finally found it, he launched an attack toward because Vivian he was controlling Margaret, and Margaret was going to try to kill herself in order to try and break the curses. So she jumps from the castle, and Meliodas finally finds it and breaks the curse. And was just like, oh, saves Margaret just in time, which finally allows Gilflander to act of his own accord.
He goes ham.
He does.
Oh man, yeah, he goes off on Hendrickson. Because obviously he knows that he's the one who actually killed his father. So he unleashes. He's like, I've been waiting for this opportunity my whole life, blah blah blah, and he just goes off thunder mode. Everything, cuts his arm off, stabs him through the stomach or chest. He just gives him that business,
Yeah, he
and
does.
then and then freaking King Arthur just gracefully catches Margaret. Like, I got her, guys. You guys fight. I'll catch her.
And then it is revealed King Arthur's the person who was traveling King Arthur the whole time. Obviously, we know
Yep.
King Arthur's backstory. It is Merlin, the sixth sin.
Hmm. And that is the boar. She has
Yes.
the boar
Bor
sign.
sin of gluttony.
Hmm.
Oh, my bad. Uh, Bon is fox sin of greed.
Hmm.
Or is it? Yeah, fox sin of greed.
Yeah, it's great.
And then Gowther is the
Crap, I forgot what
why?
got through.
Because King is the sloth. King is the sloth king of. Oh, my bad. King is why? Like I just had them all right now.
King is a sloth.
Yes,
Um, gluttony is,
Gluttony is Merlin.
yep. And you want
Yeah.
is.
So King is He's the grizzly sin of sloth,
Mhm.
and then Gowther
Is Gunther
is
Pride?
nope. We don't see Pride until season two.
Oh, goat, goat.
he
His goat
he's the goat.
of lust.
It angers me because like he is my favorite and I really want to talk about him, but this is season one.
Hmm. Yeah. So Gunther is goat
Gother's the
sin.
goat. Yeah, my bad. He's the goat sin of lust.
Yep.
But we know who the true goat, as in greatest of all time, will come in season two,
Yes. I'm actually gonna have to watch season two.
and that will be the Lion Sin of Pride. I'll just say that right now. He's the Lion Sin of
He just tossed him out there for everybody.
Pride.
But
and
yeah.
yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So Gil Thunder worked over at Henderson for
Hmm.
for a little bit, but Henderson escaped. So they got to retreat anyway. So
Yep.
they all retreat, and then Hendrickson makes Jericho, and that's when Hendrickson makes Jericho and Twigo drink Demon's blood, or he makes
Yeah.
other knights drink the Demon blood as well to get them
He
stronger. They've been
he called
experimenting on knights the whole time. This
yeah
whole entire time, Hendrickson has been spraying on knights to
calling
give
them
them
the
powers.
second calling them the second generation because they're
Yes,
not true holy knights. They're only holy knights because of the demon blood,
right.
which
And so
plays another factor. Go ahead.
and Jericho is compatible, but not Twigo. Poor
Mm,
old Twigo. My man exploded.
it's a shame.
I mean, you want to feel bad for him, but you don't because it's
Mm,
Twigo.
yeah.
Don't feel bad for him one bit.
Mm-mm. And then so Hendrickson he retreats. Um, Melodil. Oh my goodness.
Meliodas.
Meliodas. There we go. Meliodas, Arthur, Gil Thunder, that whole crew, Margaret. They all go to and Merlin. They all go to rescue the king and Princess Elizabeth that were trapped in the king's chamber.
Yep.
Yeah. So then they do that. Um, oh, what's the other Grandmaster's name?
Dreyfus.
Dreyfus. Yeah. He shows up. He apologizes. He repents. The king's like, "I'm gonna put you in jail." Blah blah blah. And then, oh crap, we missed a part. So if you go back a little bit, back to Bond and Hawks when they're in the, I don't even know what the room's called, whatever dungeon they're in with the goddess, and the goddess tells Bond that the only way he could bring back Elaine is if he kills a certain person, and they tell him that person is Meliodas. So with that
Yes.
back, yeah. So with that backstory, we come back to being in the king's chamber, and then the whole chamber just gets destroyed. And who is it by? It's by Bond. Wait, did I skip that part? No, that wasn't by Bond. It was by Hendrickson because he came back to life. that's when Hendrickson slashes Guilt Thunder and stabs Meliodas in the chest. And Elizabeth, because she's like so heartbroken and doesn't want everyone to get hurt anymore, she offers herself to Hendrickson so that he could take her and spare the lives of Meliodas and Guilt Thunder.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So then from there, that's when Bond steps in and he fights with Meliodas. Basically, during that fight, he states that he needs Meliodas to die in order for Elaine to come back. Meliodas offers himself, but not at this time. He states because he needs to save Princess Elizabeth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
And then,
Bond was just, that battle was crazy.
mm-hmm.
Like you said, Bond and Meliodas are like probably some two strongest fighters you see in season 1.
Just breaking each other's bodies, splitting,
Mm-hmm.
cutting arms off, limbs off, and then them just reattaching, regenerating.
Yep.
It's like an endless battle.
Oh, I forgot what battle was, but there was one point where Meliodas kind of loses control and the black marking spread up through like half of his body, and he completely.
Oh, that was back at the tournament. Um, it was back there where he was fighting. Oh crap, what's the dude's name?
Was it
I blanked out
Greenmore?
on. No, it was
No.
the the fairy that was disguised as the other
Oh,
guy.
Hellbroom. Hellbroom.
Hellbrum. Hellbrum.
Yeah. He whipped Hellbroom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of that,
Hellbrum.
we almost overlooked that. So Hellbroom is revealed to be King's best friend,
Very best
his
friend.
old best friend, his very best friend. Oh, which I don't understand how King just like didn't get the names to. But what happens is you get a backstory on Hellbroom. Um, Hellbroom was a fairy, like I said. He was King's best friend, and one day he was out somewhere, and he saw a bunch of fairies getting killed by humans. Like they were captured, and the humans were take plucking their wings off and killing the fairies. So like he was so pissed, and you see, and so he was like he had a hatred for humans ever since then. So he killed, and I forgot what the guy's actual name was. It was just like Alcard or something, like I believe it was like Alcard or something. So felt Hellworm X ends up getting revenge on Alcard, but like just because of his hatred for humans, like he took on the form of Alcard just so he never forgot his hatred of humans. So basically, he's still going by Hellbroom, but he's taking on the form of Alucard, which is why King didn't recognize him. But there was one day King went to go look. This is back when King was actually the fairy king, Harlequin, and what's it called? He was protecting the fairy bills, but he left to go find Hellbroom, and he saw the destruction of the human villages and the fairies, and so he turns and he sees Alcard, which is really Hellbroom in disguise, and Hellbroom slashes King because obviously he's upset with King as well. He's obviously all those fairy dice, and it's just like, yo, how did you not protect them? You were supposed to be the
Mm-hmm.
fairy king to protect the fairies, but that attack ends up causing King to lose his memory, and he's found by a young Deanne. So you get a whole
Mm-hmm.
backstory between King and Deanne's backstory, and they
Yep.
spend a lot of time together. And that's when they basically pretty much fall in love with each other. But King ends up getting his memories back and realizing what's done. So he leaves Diane for a little bit, but he told her that he was gonna come back for her. But after regaining his memories, he's sentenced to what was like 1,000 years in prison or
Think so.
whatever. And knowing that he couldn't go back to Deanne, he casts a spell or sends a flower to prick her in the neck, does a little spell on her, which causes her to forget her memory of King. So he remembers her when they were young, but she doesn't remember him.
Tragic. Tragic.
which is why King still has feelings for her, and he gets flustered whenever she gets near him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so basically, King ends up. So King has to kill Helbram. So he killed Helbram the first time when Helbram was the girl, but then he got. So he King ends up killing Helbram, but Hendrickson resurrects him after.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Henderson gets wild. So after the battle, Henderson drinks Demon Blood and starts going. Obviously he gets powered up, but he starts getting possessed by it, and he starts going crazy, and he ends up reviving Hellbroom again. So round two with King and Hellbroom, they got to fight, and Hellbroom ends up killing King for the second time, which that's just rough. You already had to kill your best friend once, now you got to do it again for the
Not
second
that
time.
wasn't the end.
Yeah,
He
that's
gets
true.
revived, and then Hendrickson revives him one last time, and that was rough.
And this is when
King,
Henderson goes like his full gray body
hmm
transformation
yep,
to become a
which
full
was a
rich demon during the final battle.
sick final battle, by the way. It was all the Holy Knights, Don's Roar or Don Roar, and the Seven Deadly Sins versus I'm gonna call him Demon Mode Hendrickson.
Demon Mode Hendrickson.
Yeah,
Because he was wow. And he was still
yeah.
doing work.
hmm
Yeah, Hendrickson Demon Mode was putting in work.
He was murdering people, and then his crap, I forgot what it called, but it was like the snow attack where it was just dropping black snow pellets, and then
Yeah.
once it touched you, it like just you were dead instantly. Like he was just handling people. Um, I mean the Sins did their thing. All the Holy Knights, Dawn, Roar, they all got handled. They got work.
Murked. They got murked.
Yep. Even Gil Thunder, who was supposed to be like super strong, his power clearly was not even close.
I mean,
But
Hendrickson was a Grand Knight to begin with, then infused with the Demon Mode when he went full Demon mode. Or
yeah.
we'll go, for lack of a better term, we'll go with Demon Mode.
Yep.
Hendrickson, he is definitely not going to be a match for him.
Yeah. And then surprisingly, as we if you watch the show, you learn that Princess Elizabeth obviously is she's an adopted daughter. She's not blood. Is she blood? I don't think she's not
Nope,
blood to any. Yeah.
she's not. She's adopted daughter of the king.
hmm Yep. And she actually is an apostle. Is that what they called her?
She's a descendant of the goddess clan.
Yes.
Cause yeah.
And she
So what
had,
happens was Hendrickson tries to unleash this big blast, and what Hawk absorbed it all.
yeah, Hawks took that hit, man.
Yeah,
Hawks.
Hawks took it all, and basically you think Hawk is dead, but I
hmm
think that activated Elizabeth's power,
hmm
the goddess power, and Hendrickson got worked. Once Elizabeth with
Yeah.
that goddess power, Hendrickson stood no chance.
Mm-mm. And then the finishing blow was everyone. Well, Meliodas was fighting um, Hendrickson, but everyone else was attacking Hendrickson while Meliodas was there because Meliodas was absorbing all their physical attacks.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, he was absorbing all their magical attacks,
Yes.
offensive magical attacks. There we go.
He was over the
And
magical attacks to do his special ability, full counter, which sends it back double, right? It sends it back at you
mhm.
at double.
and he was just storing up all those hits.
Yep.
Oh man.
And he hit Henderson with that full counter. Woo! Such an epic battle.
No coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um.
Henderson gets defeated, and
mhm,
Elizabeth's her goddess power is so OP
mhm.
because she pretty
She
much
healed.
yeah, she healed
Go ahead.
everybody. No, I was gonna say
Yeah.
she healed everybody, and you find a Hawk isn't dead, but he went into a small. He was shrunk to this size, small, like a baby type Hawk.
yeah. Um. Yeah. So pretty much sums up. See. Oh no. Well, the end of season one is they all are going to find the seventh deadly sin.
The seventh sin. The unit
Mhm.
final. And Meliodas makes a comment saying that this seventh sin is stronger than him. He's even stronger than
I'm
him.
I missed that. But I'm not. I'm actually pretty intrigued because I haven't seen season 2, so I'm actually gonna watch
You
that.
need
But
to, yeah. So I definitely watch that because the seventh
mm,
because they need to find Escanor. But you find out Hendrickson. Was that the end of season one? Yeah, I believe
he
that
gets to.
so Henderson got defeated, but he didn't die.
Oh yes, because the thing was flying off. The citizens saw. I'm gonna call it, for a better like a turn, a bat or a demon bat flying
Mm-hmm.
away. So yeah, so some part of him survived, or some part of the demon. I don't even know if it's Hendrickson anymore. It's definitely just the demon.
But and you'll see that I forgot. So we already mentioned like the sword hilt that Melios is carrying. That was one of the artifacts needed, and there were two other ones that Hendrickson managed to grab as well. I forgot what they were. It was the three artifacts needed to revive the Red Demon Clan.
Um, it was the hilt, um, Elizabeth's blood, and I forget what the
Okay,
third one was.
it was.
You found it?
No, I'm just looking.
Uh, can't find it at the current moment, but I know they need that. They need her blood and one more. But I thought they already had one of them. They just needed the hilt and her blood.
Oh,
I
then
forget
I
what.
guess it must have been that stone thing that
Oh, okay.
that you should to put the hilt in.
Yep.
But it's just weird. So I thought they had to like he had to put the hilt and something else into the stone in order for it to actually. But yeah, I knew Elizabeth's blood was one. Elizabeth. So he had the sword hilt.
Hmm.
He had Elizabeth's blood, and
The
then
stone.
what was it really? Was it just a stone?
I don't know
Why
if it
am I
was just a
forgetting this?
stone,
Like, I can't believe I'm forgetting this. So
or
it was the
maybe that's
coffin.
just
It was the coffin of eternal darkness.
yes. They because at the end of season 1, Merlin said she couldn't find it. It was lost, or and yeah, it was lost. She couldn't find it, and Meliodas was like, "Well, we got to find it because it had to be the coffin. It must be the coffin because that's what
No, so
they
okay, so it was
just."
four things. So there was because you need it was made up of four fragments. It was a
Mhm.
circular because the circular contained four fragments of. Because now I'm finding it's like the coffin of eternal darkness. It
Mhm.
contained four fragments, each presenting the four clans that united against the demon clan, and then the dragon handle. That's what it was. The dragon handle that Meliodas had. That's what he was using the whole time. So the dragon handle that he protected, that he was trying to protect dearly, that was put into the center.
Mhm. Gotcha.
So, but yeah, Henderson basically pretty much already had the most of it
Mhm. Yeah.
because that he was able to reassemble the coffin. He was able to reassemble the circular coffin because that's what we completely forgot to mention. So there was the you find Liz and it was Fraudrin. Fraudrin pretty much reassembled the coffin
Mhm.
with the help of wizards who worship the demons. Let me see here. So yeah, the seal could only be undone with the blood of a goddess. But that's when it's revealed that the blood, Elizabeth was a descendant of the goddess, so they needed her blood to use it.
Yep. Yep. Correct.
So yeah, so Meliodas had the dragon handle, so that's why and so he knew there was the key to the coffin, and so that's why he
So,
was trying to protect it with his life.
yep.
But Helbram stole it when they were battling each other.
Mhm. Yeah. But well, that was a like I said, that I enjoyed that full first season, and definitely gonna watch the second season because I want to know what happens. One, I also want to know who the I haven't. I don't. I know the name. I just don't know. I haven't seen them. The Seventh
Mm-hmm.
Sin. Um, I know about the Demon King, but I don't know what actually happened. So I'm really intrigued for the next season. How many was it? Was there 3 seasons in total, or was there
Four.
4? All right,
Yeah, yeah.
all right, man. A lot to catch up on.
But if you watch Netflix, Netflix will put it as five because there's like four OVAs for
Mm-hmm.
Seven Deadly Sins, and Netflix put that as season two, which is
Oh,
completely wrong.
gotcha. Well, for those that do want to watch it, it is on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But any closing thoughts for season 1?
Season one was amazing, and just
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I as soon as I watched Seven Deadly Sins, I got hooked, and it made me want to jump into season two. Like I went like honestly, because I saw it originally on Netflix, and then obviously I knew because if it was already on Netflix, then the other episodes would have already been out like regularly. So I just went
Easy.
searching to find it somewhere else to keep it going, and then I decided to read the manga, and I just completely got hooked.
Mm, that's nice. Yeah. Um, Obviously, I haven't read the manga, but I've just watched the first season. Loved it. Gonna jump into the second season. Um, Seven
Yeah,
Daily
so
Sons. The hype
and
is
just want
real.
to say so they have we forgot to mention even though they have the coffin or whatever they don't necessarily complete it obviously because Hendrickson got his ass whipped but he managed to get away even though he's nearly dying he
Mm-hmm.
manages to escape and he has a cloth that has Elizabeth's blood on it
Mm.
so and
Oh,
that will come into play in season two at the
gotcha.
very beginning of season two.
Nice. Can't wait. Yeah. But
Yep.
for all our viewers out there, hope you enjoyed our season 1 review. Definitely go check out season 2 because I will.
Definitely. I mean, if
I
you haven't
will.
even seen season one, go check it out.
That
Go
too.
check out Seven Deadly Sins. You can find it on Netflix. I will say this: Netflix has 3 seasons out, 4 seasons coming in 2021. Um, I will say this: no, I'm sorry, Netflix has what 4 seasons. You skip you whatever Netflix put down for season two. Those 4 episodes, you can skip them. They're so irrelevant. You really don't need to watch those episodes. Like the fact that Netflix even put them down as season two is ridiculous and a travesty. Which is why I hate watching this at Netflix. Which is why obviously and also it's not a Netflix original. That also
That
bothers me
too.
as well. Netflix like, oh, we have a Netflix original. It's like, no, you don't.
That's not yours.
Definitely isn't.
Uh, but
But yeah, go ahead and watch it.
yeah. Hmm.
It's pretty awesome. You'd love it. And you're gonna have well, I say you love it, you might not, but I think you'll probably love it.
If you like shonen anime, you'll like it.
Yes, definitely.
Mhm.
And once
Yeah.
again, thank you. And once again,
Okay.
like if you haven't already, let's like you know what the deal is. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel to be alerted whenever episodes drop. Even though if you haven't noticed already, episodes are always dropping every Friday,
Hmm.
10 a.m. Follow us on Instagram at Anime Brothers. Follow us on Twitter at A Brothers. Um, leave comments, send us, shoot us, anything. Send us a DM. Like we reply,
Yes, we do.
or we'll do our best to reply, depending on
Hmm.
what you send us. Depending on what you send us to DM, we'll probably I'll make that clear. But yeah, the due diligence. Give us like and subscribe.
Hmm.
And we'll see you next week with another
Yeah.
episode.
Any out, everybody.
Peace.